What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the InnerCityGeeks podcast. It's Steve here, and this is episode 268. And joining me today, I got Brian,
Hey guys.
and I got Renee.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not too much, man. Not too much. It's just another fantastic week. Another week full of the awesome shits. Because there's been a lot of shit going on this week. So mostly what came out today. We record on Fridays mostly. We got Halloween Kills came out today, which is fucking great. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I guess we could probably talk about that a little bit later. But before we get into that shit, what the fuck is going on, man? How you been, Brian?
I've been all right. Just here hanging around.
That's good. Hanging around is good, as long as you're not hanging around from uh, a jungle gym or something. That's something to worry about. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
There we go.
Hmm.
Things are good. I had a really positive job interview yesterday, so I'm hoping to
Nice.
hear back sooner than later.
I hope so.
Um, yeah, because time to not be glued to a uncomfortable couch and then this uncomfortable chair, which I'm sure I'll slide in and out of about 20 times by show's end.
Yeah, that's how kids happen.
Yeah. uh, the things are good, man. Things are good. Been watching a ton of shit too, as always.
Okay.
Um, like watched today, for example, watched Titans, so I'm caught up.
Oh, such a good fucking show, man.
Such a good show, and this latest episode of Titans was fucking one of their darkest moments.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Which episode you
and
guys? I mean, you got all of it, right? Because I just got up to the Nightwing versus Red Hood. I'm gonna save the last two for like next week because next week's gonna be season finale. That shit is so good. Thank you, Steve, for getting us into it.
Yeah,
That
no,
shit is
yeah,
awesome.
seriously,
yeah. It's
um,
fucking great, dude. Like, I'm pretty much all caught up. I guess I just need the last episode just next week.
Yeah.
But it's fucking good.
it's
Like
fucking good.
all around, it's fucking really good shit.
And like the way dude looks now, where he got rid of the mask for Scarecrow, but he turned his face into the mask
Mm-hmm.
with the scarring. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
what I thought was really crazy was last
Don't
week.
give up too much, Brian. Don't give up too
I'm
much.
not
All
one of
right.
the one of the one of the guest appearances, I guess, on that show was the actor who played Gerald on Kim's Convenience.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, oh hey, it's that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but no,
Sweet little Asian guy.
Titans Titans is really good. And then yeah, like then today I watched Halloween 2018 to
Mm-hmm.
catch back up into the world of Michael Myers and what we've seen last, because I only watched the movie once, and that was in 2018.
Right.
Um, and it was also like late, and I was tired, so you miss a lot of shit. And
Oh yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
watching it today, and I really appreciate the way that was filmed, because it was a real good callback to 1978.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like the eerie, drawn out, long, framed shots, and all like the POV. And then I went in and finished that, and I was like, okay, time for Halloween Kills, and did not expect that. I walked into that movie going, okay, this is not going to be that great, but
Okay.
then I watched it,
You went
and I was
in
like,
being skeptical about it.
exactly. I went because traditionally Halloween sequels are fun, but they're not incredible.
All right.
With the exception of Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2.
Okay.
Because
Which is, would you think that it basically follows the same type of formula? Like, oh yeah, the second sequel for Halloween was good, so why not make this one be just as good, if not better?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
when John Carpenter left is when it all went to shit. Because like after
Mm-hmm.
the
exactly.
third one was the Season of the Witch, which I love and people hate because it's so bad. It's good,
Yeah.
but when John Carpenter, because John Carpenter is like my hero, like he gave them permission to do it, and he literally said, "I just wanted to get paid," and he just like said,
Yeah.
"Fuck it, I'm out," because he had no control after the second one. So
Right. Yeah, like the second one of my favorite deaths in the second one was how he just pretty much um injected the syringes into the nurse and just let her bleed out. Uh,
That was
but
fun.
yeah, but then like Halloween, yeah, Seasons of the Witch, it it's an okay horror film. Uh, it's just everybody went in thinking like it was gonna be
Oh,
the
it's
third installment
terrible.
of
No, no,
Max.
no. It's awful. It's really bad. But like the way it's so cheesy, it's good. Because it was one of those movies that freaked me out as a kid. Because I was like totally scared of bugs, and like when the pumpkin thing kills the kids, it's like all bugs coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But then I watched it as an adult, and I'm like, oh my god, it's fucking hilarious. Like the ugliest dude in the world gets the hottest chick in the country. Like it's so
Yeah.
stupid. Like
Isn't that how reality works though?
Pretty much.
Nah. I have hope.
And then like but then of course like 4 and 5 were 4 and 5 were cheesy, dumb, fun sequels that were just awful. And then we had 6, which was better. That's the one with Paul Rudd.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and then H2O, which sort of eliminated
Oh my god.
3, 4, and 5, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
And then of course that should have ended the whole franchise. And then of course we got Halloween Resurrection, where
Yeah.
Busta Rhymes versus Michael Myers.
I thought it was H2O. Like, but Resurrection was so bad, dude. I'm like, you're gonna fight Kung Fu. You're gonna like Kung Fu Michael Myers. All right, dude. Like, whatever.
Oh, it was...
Just start rapping or something, dude. That movie's really bad. Who thought like Busta Rhymes in a Halloween movie was an excellent idea? Like
Yeah.
And then of course, we have Rob Zombie films, which are just god awful.
Thank you, because I hate that motherfucker because of his music. And I hate the fucker because of his movies too. Like I don't understand the cult that those movies had around them, and still do, because a lot of people like his like the other ones that he did are good. The serial killer movies, like not serial killer. I forgot the name of him. The one with his wife and everything else.
Yeah,
The House Without the Corpses.
House of 1,000 Corpses. Devil's
But his
Rejects.
Halloween is like the first one has its moments, but it's still pretty bad. And then the second one's it's just horrible.
Yeah, the second one is awful.
The second one's just
like the first one, I enjoyed it.
And if you notice, some of the stuff in Halloween 2018 is stuff that Zombie tried to do, but they did it better in 2018.
Yeah. So yeah, like for example, with Rob Zombie, like House of 1,000 Corpses and Devil's Rejects were great. And then I was telling Steve this like a week ago. I could not get through 3 from Hell.
Yeah, me neither.
Like I watched like the first 30 minutes of this movie, and I'm like, when does this get good?
Yeah, I don't think Rob Zombie got through it either.
Because like in that movie, like I mean, spoiler alert for a movie that's like 15 years old now, but like in the Devil's Rejects, like they should have they're going out in a blaze of glory thing.
They should have actually just went out and
just died.
Finished
That's
it.
how
Yeah.
it went.
Yeah.
But then like you just they're shot like a ridiculous amount of times and near death, but like they're back because they're Satanists and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
But no, not to get over myself and talking points here, but yeah. Then you go back and 2018 Halloween came out, and as I said, it had the same format as 1978, and then we got kills, and again walked in skeptical, walked out going, holy shit, I need to watch this right now again.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I gotta wait until we're done recording.
It's okay. It's okay. We could wait. You could watch that until like after wrestling and shit.
Yeah. I haven't really watched much else that is I can actually remember because I watched a lot of shit. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got. How about you?
Nice. Renee, what's up, dude? What you got?
What's going on, guys? I'm actually awake this time, so I won't sound like an idiot like I did last week. I've been driving a lot, so I've been driving a lot, and I kind of watch the stuff here and there. I took today I took off, and I got to watch some stuff. I caught up on Titans 2 like you guys, but I'm saving the last 2 episodes for like a big watch because I love the show, and it kind of sucks because I know the episode after Jason Todd versus Red Hood versus Nightwing, there's like a big thing that happens in it, so I'm going to save it for the last 2 episodes. That show is really good. We've been talking about it already, but like that show is really fucking good. To make me give a fuck about these characters that I really didn't like anymore, especially Superboy. And the story arc in this season too, like the way they grew as characters and as a team fighting, Jason Todd and stuff. There's a couple of things that I'm nitpicky about, but like I let it pass because most of the show is really, really good. I did that. I saw a movie that I am recommending to everybody who's into horror. It's on Shudder, but you can find it anywhere. It's called Mayhem, and it has Stephen Yeun from Walking Dead. He was Glenn, and it has Samara Weaving, who was in Guns Akimbo. She's Scarlet in that piece of shit G.I. Joe movie, which I couldn't even get past the first 10 minutes. And I tried really hard to get into that movie. I tried watching it like two times, and I was like, this is really dumb. But she's actually like moving up, and I saw Mayhem, and I'm like, she was good in Guns Akimbo, but she's really good in this. And basically, Mayhem is about it's funny because it's about a virus, right? And this movie came out in 2017. And then watching it now in the post-COVID world, is really interesting. Basically, there's a rage virus, kind of like the one in 28 Days Later.
Okay.
And like the country, like we know about the like in the movies universe, people know that it's a disease. So like whenever they spot it, they quarantine everyone. So Stephen Yeun is a lawyer working in a really shady law firm. I mean, it's like all of them,
like most law firms.
It's like every fucking law firm. And the building gets infected with the virus. It gets shut down, locked down. Steve's character is kind of like he's already done with the shit. He gets fired in the beginning of the movie, and it just turns into this fucking orgy of violence, and it is so fucking good. Definitely check this movie out. I love the fact that Stephen Yeun is doing stuff on his own, and he's a much better actor than he's better than The Walking Dead. It's kind of hard for me to explain sometimes, but I'm like, they shitted on him by killing him off the way they did in the comic book. And then on top of that, he's just a better actor than that show. Like, he's really good. He's in another movie that was like a serious movie that was like an Oscar contender. Like, can't remember what it is, the name of it, but that was good too. Mercy. We watched Chronos. I guess we're gonna talk about that later. That's about it. I played a couple of games this week. Back for Blood is out on Game Pass. Luckily, I paid Game Pass off like a year in advance, so because I'm broke now. And Back for Blood is included on it. And I didn't buy the game, right? Let's get this straight. I don't buy games anymore. I either play what I got or I play whatever's on there. And Back for Blood is really good. If you guys remember Left 4 Dead, it's from the same people that made Left 4 Dead. And it's
that's right. Yeah.
It's pretty much Left 4 Dead now. The game's really fucking hard though. So I'm hoping they tweak the difficulty a little bit with the updates because it's a really good game. But the fucking game is hard, dude. Even like when you know what you're supposed to do, it's really, really hard, but it's still a lot of fun. What sucks is that I'm playing on the Xbox and I don't know anyone on the Xbox that plays. So it's like I gotta join random people and it's fun, but it gets annoying sometimes. The other thing that I did was I said fuck you to Marvel's Avengers game and deleted that fucking shit. Like if I had a like real copy of it, I would have thrown shit out the window. The game is just not good. Like I got deeper into it, and it's like there's like it's like in a video game like that, right? It's a third-person game, so you're seeing the character, and if the camera doesn't work, the game doesn't work. So a bunch of times you're in like these huge battles, right? And you get killed, and you don't know what the fuck happened because the camera doesn't work. And I kept flipping out. I don't know how I didn't wake you up the other night because I was screaming. I was like, motherfucker. Like the other thing too, the Hulk should not be able to get his ass kicked by random aim guys. Right? Like I'm like, what the fuck? Like it was really stupid. Yeah, dude. Like the game is really dumb, and I'm like, as a game as a service, they could have looked at a bunch of other games and copied them because I know there's characters in World of Warcraft that are like Hulk goblins or whatever, and they can't get fucking killed by random people. Like it's a really stupid game, and I got to the point where like I'm in the story and I'm doing this shit, and it's like a big battle with me and Hulk. And Hulk keeps getting killed. I gotta save him, and then I get killed, and then I don't know what the fuck happened. And it's like, oh, I gotta do it again. Fuck you! Like, I was like, fuck this, man. Like, I was really pissed off the other night. I was like, because I got like halfway through the story stuff. Like, I got, I think I just got in Black Widow, But there's a couple of fights that was just like, what the fuck? Like I hated that shit, dude. Like the Batman games are like the perfect third person game, all right? They got it right. So take that kind. So imagine a game like that that's like completely wrong. Because dude, like I kept dying and I didn't know what the fuck was happening. I was like, this is not fun. Like,
well, Renee, there was one mission I was stuck on in that game. It was like a side mission where you could only be Black Widow, and it's a 3-level mission. Right, you started out on the like you land on the helipad or whatever, like in the ocean, and then like you have to fight all the enemies outside, then go to a basement area and save some doctors who are weak as fuck, and like, the enemies are more overpowering than the health, than like the level up that you are, no matter like what level you are. And you can only use Black Widow, and it's fucking frustrating, and and like then you go to another level, and you have to like break down a bunch of like these core reactors or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I gave up on that mission after like a month of trying. I'm like, fuck this. Like I almost broke my game in half.
Yeah, I totally know that feeling.
And then like, so then I saw your right, I saw your meme the other day with the Willem Dafoe. You know how much I sacrificed?
Yeah.
Because like I had just after I gave up on Avengers, I bought the Return to Arkham pack of Asylum and City, and then I played Night because I own Night.
Yeah, those games perfected. Those games perfected third-person fighting.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not gonna make a game as good as that, don't even fucking try. Like I can't believe Square Enix fucked this up this bad.
I know. And like, so like with that game, with those Arkham games, getting those impossible fucking Riddler trophies, I did them all. And so I'm like, okay, let me try to play Avengers again. Keep in mind, I'm still playing on my PS4. And so like, I had to delete my Batman games to play Avengers, and like 5 minutes into playing that fucking the Kate Bishop story. Now keep in mind she's leveled down to 1 because she's a brand new character.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, fuck. And then I saw your meme, just like whatever amount of time later, and I fucking busted out laughing.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Like, it pissed me off so much that I'm really glad I didn't pay for it. Like, if people pay for this shit, I would be like, if I paid for this, I'd be flipping the fuck out because it's really not good. There was one but the opening thing is really cool because like the opening first half hour of it is kind of cool because like you fight as each Avenger to kind of figure out how the game works. That's cool. The rest of the game just sucks. I was like, fuck this. Yeah, it's so dumb. What was the other thing? I mentioned The Way Down last time, right? The documentary on HBO.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So I hope more people get to see it because it's really good. I think that's about it, man. Like seriously, all I've been doing is driving. If anyone's listening to this, and you guys help me out, and you know what I'm talking about, we started paying the lawyer today. The car's getting fixed bit by bit, which is really, really like the car. Yo, dude, like I don't have kids. I have a car. Holy shit, dude. Like, I went to the mechanic and he was like, oh, it's gonna be like $2,000 altogether. I was like, I was like, damn. I was like, all right. So it's gonna cost a little more than I expected, but I'm doing it like bit by bit. Like I'm repairing one thing so I can keep going to repair the other thing. But you guys helped me out a lot, and I appreciate that. Like, you have no idea. So if you're listening to this and you help me out, thank you so much. It's been a really stressful couple of months. The busy season is starting now. The snowbirds are starting to come back, so I'm able to actually make money at the airport again. And just trying to keep my head up, and just kind of do what I gotta do.
Yeah, that's what we can.
I finally think I got out of my depression funk.
Nice.
I'm getting back into really good shape from the gym. I'm down at 225, and I was at 250 in August. So
that's what's up.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm like a girl with new boobs. I keep trying on shirts. I keep trying it because there was half the clothes I had. Like I couldn't fit. Like that was why I was wearing tank tops all fucking summer because I was all fat. And then
it wasn't just to show off your 24-inch pythons.
No, it was just the like 10 inches, I guess. But it was more like I just couldn't fit into anything. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just like, wear tank tops and stuff. But no, yeah, like it feels really good to be back in shape.
Nice.
I've been feeling so sore though, but like it's like a good sore.
It's a good sore.
That's good.
Yeah, because like, yeah, it's been a really crazy year, and it's been a really tough year for everybody. And I'm just glad that we're starting to see some of the light at the end of the tunnel. So
Yeah, we're almost there. We're almost
yeah,
there.
man.
Almost.
Yeah. I can't believe it's already like halfway. It's almost Halloween.
Yeah, it's literally almost Halloween. We're like what? Right now we're about 16 days away.
Today's the 15th. Yeah, dude, like this year flew by.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So,
like the longest and shortest year of my life.
Yeah.
So you talk about the countdown to Halloween, yet you did not think to sing the jingle.
Nah.
Season of the Witch.
No, I remember, but like, nah.
I know.
15 days till
Yeah.
Halloween.
I'm too sober to do that.
Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Yeah. As for me, like
Wait, I forgot something.
What you got?
I got another thing. I totally fucking forgot. I totally blanked out on it. All right, so I know I spoke about the Warhammer stuff that I've been reading a couple months ago or a couple weeks ago. I took a break from the Warhammer stuff because I was like, oh my god, like all I see is Warhammer shit in my head. So like I took a break from that, and I started reading a book that came out last year. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, both of them came out. Yeah, the first one came out in 2019. The second one came out last year. It's a short story collection of Star Wars stories called From a Certain Point of View. And they have one on Star Wars, and they have one on Halloween. They have one on Empire Strikes Back. They still haven't done Jedi, so I don't know what happened with that. I also got to look into it because I got to see if it's like supposedly if it's like really linked to Star Wars, because if it's canon. Because like the first book is basically from the point of view of peripheral characters in the movies, right?
Okay.
So like the first one has stories about the stormtrooper that Obi-Wan force tricked into letting them go.
Nice.
The stormtrooper that he's like, these are not the droids you're looking for.
Yeah.
Right.
So one of the stories is him, and then one of the stories is the bartender at the Mos Eisley Cantina. One of the stories is Greedo, and it was awesome because they actually had Han shoot first, which I was like, yes.
Nice.
And it's a really good book, and I really think I highly recommend it. But some of the short stories are kind of like they're actually mostly really good, but I just can't get into the fact that they shoehorn a bunch of shit into Star Wars that just doesn't make any sense. Like I think I kind of mentioned it before, but it was like they keep bringing up Qui-Gon, and I'm like, he didn't exist in Star Wars. We didn't see him at all. He's never mentioned in the trilogy. So who the fuck is he to be put in this, right? You have like Yoda fucking like force praying to him. And you have Obi-Wan too, and I'm like, didn't Obi-Wan say Yoda was his master in Empire? Like, am I the only one paying attention? And this is why I hate the prequels, man, because people are like, oh, and the sequels too. People are like, oh, you're just a hater. No, like they're bad movies, structurally and story-wise. But anyway, back to the book. The only story that I didn't read is the one written by Will Wheaton because I can't stand the fucking motherfucker. But the rest of the book is really, really good. I'm almost done with that one. I'm gonna start reading the Empire Strikes Back one. I think they're like $10 on Kindle on Amazon. I don't know how much. I think it's like $15 for the collection. It's a big book though. Like the Star Wars one is like almost 400 pages. It's a lot of shit. It's really good, but it's really good. Like I read that shit.
And for anthology books,
it's really good.
Right.
It actually got me to put in a bunch of the older Star Wars stuff. That's not I forgot what they call it. Legends. Yeah, they call it Legends now instead of like whatever. Because they're not part of the canon anymore. And I went back to start reading some of those. But yeah, if you're a Star Wars fan and you haven't picked these up, the book is called From a Certain Point of View. First one's on Star Wars. I can't wait to get into the Empire Strikes Back one because like reading what the stormtroopers think of Vader and like all the other crazy shit. The other thing too that was awesome is like you have stormtroopers and like Imperial people like talking shit about Vader. Like who's this fucking guy out of nowhere that gets promoted and we don't know who the fuck he is. It's really good. It's actually a really, really cool book. Like if you're into like, do people read anymore? Like people like read books still? Like if you're into that stuff and you're a Star Wars fan, like most of us are now, definitely check that shit out. It's really good.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I definitely gotta check that out because like we heard about it a few years ago. So like, I just wanted to know what it was because like I didn't even think it actually came out. But now you said so, I think I'm definitely gonna check it out.
I'm curious to see if like they're gonna do a Jedi one because I don't know if it was like officially done or what.
Right.
But it's a really good short story collection. A bunch of really good authors that I have no idea who the fuck they are.
Okay.
So it's really good. It was actually a really good book.
Nice.
And that's
Very
it. I
fucking
think
cool.
that's all the stuff.
Very fucking cool. Very fucking cool. A couple things that I've been doing. I worked the last Bucks game was actually really fun. The Bucks against the was I don't remember, but it was actually a really fun game against the Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins, and it was pretty interesting because the Dolphins pretty much got spanked, and that was fun. That was fun to see a bunch of Dolphin fans actually like crying and really sad and upset because they lost. It was fun. Like, is it bad that I like seek joy in people's sorrow? But yeah, that was pretty cool. A couple things that I watched. First thing that I watched was actually pretty cool. Was my brain is drawing a blank. I completely forgot. The biggest thing I actually want to talk about is actually Chucky. We spoke about it a few weeks ago that it was coming out on Sci-Fi and USA and stuff like that. But the first episode just came out this week, and they put it out on the YouTubes. So the first episode is on YouTube's right now, and I highly suggest you guys to check it out because it's fucking good.
That was fucking good. That's a lot of potential. That's one of the other things I watch. But like, there's a lot of potential with that
It's
show.
really fucking good.
Like,
So this is like it's a media sequel from like all the Chucky movies, the regular movies, of course. Um, and it follows basically a kid that finds Chucky at a flea market, not at a garage sale, and it's just all craziness ensues. Because of course, this kid he's a weird kid because he just does random shit because he feels like an outcast because one thing that they do and they put out a lot of it in the show is that the fact that the main character he's a gay character, something that we haven't really we've seen much within uh I guess the Child's Play Chucky stories or whatever. Um, but he's a gay character and he seems like a very much like an outcast. Um, and also because this story takes place in a high school, it's not like little kids or super adults. Um, he's at that age like he's just trying to figure out himself and stuff like that, which is something that I did enjoy about the show so far. Um, how it shows the teen point of view in how how school is for them and for today in today's world, because of course they could have done this, they did something like that back in the day, but it wasn't anything like it is today. And it makes sense for what it is, because of course this kid he's slightly fucked up because people are always shitting on him all the time.
mm-hmm.
And he's basically like, yeah, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be an artist or whatever. I'm gonna start getting all these dolls and I'm gonna take off their heads and I'm gonna build a sculpture out of their heads, which is really fucking weird because of course one thing is that you got a kid playing with dolls, but the fact that he's making a sculpture out of these doll heads is kind of weird too.
he,
um
he, he kind of had like a Sid from Toy Story vibe. In a
yes, he
sense.
really did. He really did. And like the biggest thing that he was doing, he was like, "Yeah, I just want to get all these random doll heads," and he got a bunch of them. Like he had
Yeah.
them like all around this fucking room, and he was like fucking putting them in clay and shit like that, and making them look like a huge sculpture. And then he was like, "I just want this one piece that's gonna make this even better." And then lo and behold, he finds Chucky, and he's like, "I'm gonna try to get this head onto here," and
This is
doesn't really
like
work.
the Chucky, the old school Chucky, right? Not the one from the movie with Mark Hamill.
No, not that Mark
No,
Hamill
no.
one. No.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, it has the same dude that played him back in the day, um, and it's pretty fucking cool. Like I like the way they did it because it's it fits the story.
Yeah.
One thing that they've kind of like hinted at throughout the show is that they're gonna be going into Charles Lee Ray's story, which is something that I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do with that. They kind of hinted at it at the beginning and at the very end
Yeah,
of the episode.
yeah, that's the guy who's like, Chucky, the spirit inside Chucky. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So
like,
Did
that's
they ever
fantastic.
talk about that in the movies? Like, I don't remember. Like, I only remember
I
like
don't remember
1
either.
and 2.
I don't remember either.
what I'd like to see is, of course, we're gonna get this whole arc of his backstory. So It'd be interesting to see uh, how he became who he was, like the serial killer side, and then what got him into the dark arts. Like,
Yeah,
we
because in
can
the
really
first one
explore
they
that
just
part.
show the first one they just show like the voodoo guy. I remember that.
Right. Yeah.
And he's like, "Get me the fuck out of this! Like, I want to be human."
Right. Because right in the
Yeah, Jonathan.
Brad Dourif was a serious actor.
Yeah, he was. He was
I
a
think he
very
still
serious
is.
actor.
I think he still is, man.
Yeah, but it was actually really really cool the way they did it. Like I love it
How
so
long is the
far.
episode?
It's about an hour.
Like, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I was gonna
All right,
say
cool.
it's like close to an hour.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Well, with commercials, of course, it's gonna be an hour, but like without, it's gonna be like 45 minutes or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. A couple things that I saw from the thing as well. That was the version that I saw on online was basically that they gave us like a bit of a 20-minute look into the episode or whatever, and they kind of gave us a look at who else is on the show. I knew Devin Sawa was gonna be in it, the dude from fucking Final Destinations and stuff. He plays two characters, which is fucking dope.
Which I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I didn't expect that at all. Jonathan Parker says greetings from the Netherlands. Greetings to
what's
you
up,
too,
dude?
sir. Hell yeah. Thank you for watching. It's super fun to see Devin Sawa playing two roles, because one of them he's a complete asshole to his son,
Yeah.
and the second one he's like, he's the good guy. He plays the good and the bad guy at the same time.
Yeah, this has to be the year of the twins because it's like we had the Sopranos thing with Ray Liotta.
Yeah.
This Devin Sawa and Chucky, and then that I Know What You Did Last Summer thing has identical twins too.
Oh yeah, I forgot that they actually have a TV show too.
It's supposed to be really good too. Like one of the reviews I saw, on a whole other tangent. We haven't watched it yet, but it got really good reviews. So I'm actually gonna try to watch it this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll check it out too.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta give that a shot. But as far as Chucky, like I really enjoyed the first episode, and I'm very excited to see what they're gonna do with it. Because of course, like I am a fan of the horror stuff. That's something that we're all into and shit. But the fact that it's coming out around this time of the year, it's fucking perfect.
It is perfect.
Yeah.
That's why I like that they released Halloween.
Just before Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's like all three movies from this trilogy are going to be October releases. We already have the first two done in October, and then Ends is confirmed for October. So I'm like, that's really fucking dope. That you can't have a movie called Halloween and have it come out in fucking like November or like January.
Yeah, just like the weird horror movies that wind up coming out in like February and shit. Like, why is this horror movie coming out in February?
Well, you gotta remember too, like that was like the old school way before COVID.
Yeah.
Like they would dump, like movie studios dump the shit they don't want to like. How can I explain this? Movie studios dump movies into theaters, or they used to, during the winter, because that's like they'll lose money anyway, but they can say they released it, and that's why they release certain movies around like February and March.
Absolutely, and people regardless, they go see it. Yeah. So Jonathan Parker saying that he was the first Child's Play movie when he was about 5.
Yeah, I love the 80s, dude. I love the fact that we grew up in a time where we could watch like shit that we really weren't supposed to watch.
Right?
Because our parents were like, fuck it, just let us sit in front of the TV. Like they had shit to do. Everybody had like 8 jobs. So the kids would just sit there watching whatever. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Like I remember I had to have been probably like 5 or 6. And I was at my aunt and uncle's place spending the night there, and my aunt is a big horror buff, and like the first thing, I mean, that's all we'd watch over there is horror movies, and I remember going like, I'm afraid, but let me test the water, because everything's sunshine and rainbows at that age, and then like,
Oh, of course.
you know, and then like the first one that really stuck with me, still to this day, and now you go back and laugh at it, but Dolls,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's on Shutter.
yeah,
That one's on Shutter.
yeah. That
like
one's
that's
creepy.
the first. I think that's like the first horror movie I've ever watched. So yeah, I was probably like, I was probably like six, maybe seven, but no younger or older than that, and like, um, yeah, it's just one of those things that like still resonates with me. Like, going, holy shit! Like, I watched that movie at that age,
Nice. I think the
and
first one
like,
that I watched was Nightmare on Elm Street with the first one I think I watched.
okay,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think mine was Friday the 13th.
Yay.
Yeah, Friday the
yay,
13th, I think it was. What fucked me up was that I used to, my parents used to send me to El Salvador in the summer. And when you're a kid, you kind of like, when you're a kid from here and you go down there when no one speaks English, you're like, you want to see something in English, right? So
Hmm.
all they had in English were like horror movies or like shit that I really wasn't supposed to watch.
Of course.
And they actually put, what's funny is a bunch of that stuff is on Shutter. Like they
nice.
put, remember that movie? Do you guys remember, heard of a movie called Angel about a hooker?
No, I don't think
Like
I
No,
she's,
remember that
yo,
one.
dude, it's hilarious. I don't know why it's on Shutter. It's not really a horror movie, but they've been putting like a lot of like grindhouse stuff on there from the 80s and the 90s. And I'm like, yo, I saw this shit when I was like 8 years old. I was like, why? There's a lot of girls like in a prep school in the day and she's a hooker at night in Hollywood. And like I
Nice.
remember that movie and I was like, holy shit. Like I remember like when I scrolled over that, I was like, wow. Exorcist too. Yo, Exorcist.
Yeah.
I remember watching that shit as a kid and it freaked the fuck out of me. And then when I
Yeah.
watched it as an adult, I was like, this is bullshit. Like she's just tripping, like she's not possessed, like she's just high, like
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. I enjoy the extras whenever I'm like this is creepy, but it's still fun. Like I thought it was fun. I watched it when I was like what, like 10 or 11 or so. I didn't watch it when I was too much younger.
I mean, like as a movie, I think it's good. Don't get me
yeah,
wrong, I think it's good.
Oh yeah,
Does it
for
scare
sure.
me? No, like I know
No.
that stuff is bullshit, so it doesn't scare me in the least. But
Yeah.
I do like I watch it every now and then whenever it's on Shudder or HBO or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, one of the sequels is actually really good. The one that has
Okay.
Brad Dourif in it. I
Oh,
forgot which
interesting.
one it
Okay.
is, but it's actually really good.
Okay.
But yeah, all that stuff that I thank our parents for being like, that's funny.
That open. Yeah.
Yeah, that open and like didn't give a fuck. So I was like, thank
Hmm.
you.
like,
Thanks the
uh,
beers and the cigarettes.
um, uh, another one that like I still remember being frightened of was what you call it, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Child.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and like I watched that. I was probably like 8. And my landlady at the time, her son was a little bit older than me, and he had a birthday party. I got invited. I'm like, okay, cool. And so like we're gonna watch Nightmare on Elm Street 3. I'm like, I remember like peeking in, hanging out in the kitchen, peeking back in, hanging out, and I just remember like the nightmare that I had, like just seeing like a shadowy Freddy like figure on my wall and freaking the fuck out, waking my parents, like. But now, like, you go back and watch these, and then even go back and watch like these, like, one of the other things I was watching this weekend was the movies that made us season 3,
Yeah. I
and
gotta check that
and
out.
it and like it's, I have one episode left out of the 6, but like the making of Halloween, the making of Friday the 13th, then you got the original Nightmare on Elm Street, and just seeing like the behind the scenes of how they did like the Johnny Depp getting sucked into the bed and all the blood and
Oh, that
like
was great, dude. That was one of my
yeah,
favorite scenes. Yeah.
absolutely it was. Like the back and forth on like the different endings that they had wanted and come up with, and uh then what was it? Then Get Out of Horror. Then it was RoboCop was a really good one.
Hmm.
And I watched the one on Aliens, and how like James Cameron was like a dick to the crew, and then they almost
Yeah,
all walked
man.
out.
Fuck James Cameron, dude. Like he's such an asshole.
He still is.
Uh,
Like
Yeah.
he's still yeah.
the one that I have left, I don't know why this is on this season because it doesn't fit the genre, but Coming to America.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it
Wait.
because I love that movie, but like, I just find it interesting that like you have all these like, you know, horror and rated R movies on this list. How RoboCop was almost rated X.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
and
that's
then
what
like
you get for shooting people in the dick, though.
right.
Yeah.
Um, but no, like I loved it. I love Halloween, man. I love like just this time of year. It really like where my wife's favorite holiday is Christmas, like minus Halloween.
Actually, yo, Jonathan brought up a really good point.
Yeah.
I gotta say that before I forget. But yeah, keep going,
Yeah, yeah,
Brian.
go. Yeah, I'm good.
Um,
Yeah, go.
all right, so there's this thing about horror, and like European horror is really fucked up. And
Yeah.
it goes to something that I've talked about before about how like
Mm-hmm.
countries and cultures that have dealt with war are damaged for the rest of eternity.
Yeah.
And some of the horror shit that came out of like, the post World War II era and like post Vietnam stuff, because remember, France was the first ones to go into Vietnam. Like they were
Mm-hmm.
fighting in Vietnam for like 10 years.
Yep.
A lot of the shit that comes out of like French horror, Italian horror is a good way to look at it too. Like the I forgot his name, the Giallo pigs, all that shit. That shit is hardcore compared to what we were putting out here in the
Yeah.
States.
Like
Until the
what we
80s.
put out over here is nothing.
It didn't start getting to that level until like maybe 2000s, but like in the
Mm-hmm.
80s, it was like we had the slasher shit cornered, but
Yeah.
there was shit coming out from Europe that was like out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Man versus Dog is one that's really good. I think that's the name of it. It's about a reality TV crew following a French guy who's just killing everybody. It's really fucking good. It's on HBO Go. There's a couple of other French ones that are really fucked up.
Yeah.
Martyrs. Yeah, Martyrs.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah,
Yep.
Martyrs. Inside the one with the whatever the one cut the baby out of the lady. Oh, dude, there's so many. But yeah, like horror stuff. Like I love that shit. But there's some French and European stuff that I was like, eesh, like
Yeah.
like,
It's
I need a hug.
it's cringeworthy stuff. Yeah.
Like I need a hug, but they're great
Yeah.
movies though. Like they're really fucking good. Like they what kills me about that stuff too is that like Spain is another country that came out with a lot of stuff. Like Kronos
Mhm.
came out of like the horror from Spain and the wreck
Yep.
movies and the other shit that's come out from Spain. Argentina, the movie that you saw pretty recently. Yeah, dude, I only saw that shit once and I can never watch it again. The Serbian movie.
Yeah.
That's another good example. Serbia and that area of Europe was in war for like 5 years during the Clinton years. And the shit that happened to them, the atrocities that happened to them are really fucking insane. And then you get 10 years later and you get a Serbian film.
Yep.
And yeah, like horror is awesome. Horror is like it lets you see the worst of humanity in a really safe way.
It really does. It really does.
And I think a lot of that stuff needs to be seen because some people need to kind of understand that, like, yo, like shit is really fucked up sometimes.
Yeah, it's like we think that stuff that we see over here is it's hardcore, but when you actually go and you actually see things that are from like other countries, you're just like, holy shit! Like you wouldn't even never expected them to come out with something like that.
You know what's a big red flag for me now when I'm dating? If she can't watch a horror movie, I'm like, yeah, nah, we can't. It can't happen. Because my last ex was like that, and I'm like, dude, like seriously, like just it's not real. Yeah. This dude, yeah, Dr. Trooper guy. Fuck, I forgot his name. But yeah, like I love horror. Like if you date me, you gotta be about the nerd life and horror. Like
word.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I guess continuing with the horror stuff, like something that we was one of the things that we kind of spoke about last week. We're going to talk about another horror movie for this week. Kind of like a the horror treat, for the week. Last week was 1981's My Bloody Valentine. This week we chose 1990. What was it? 91. 93. Guillermo del Toro's Kronos, and that one was on HBO. It's on HBO Max right now. And it's one of those movies that you don't really expect much from. One thing is that I had never heard of it before.
Really?
Yes, I've never heard of it before. I've been a fan of Guillermo del Toro since what was it? Pacific Rim, I think, was the first time I saw anything Guillermo del Toro.
I always forget he did that.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, he does good stuff. And like, I kind of saw it here and there. Like I saw it like pop up like, oh yeah, this is his movie. I was like, okay, I didn't really give into it or, give it a shot. But I was like, okay, let's when you mentioned this to me, I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. Let's check it out for this week. And it's basically it's a horror movie, but it's not your typical horror movie. It's not like full of scares or full of jump scares, or it's more of a one of those things that like Jonathan said in the chat. He was like, "Yo, it's something that gets under your skin,
Yeah.
like literally, like it's it makes you feel weird, and it's really good." The gist of the story is that um they're trying people have been trying to find the fountain of youth for ages.
And that's a really good thing that they did that in the movie, because historically the Spaniards were nuts for that shit. That's why they fucking tore apart Central and South America looking for
Right.
that and the Holy Grail. So I thought that was really cool. Like I caught it this time. I was like, oh yeah, like because in the beginning, like the guy from the Inquisition, the one that they
Yeah.
find dead in the 70s, he was alive during the Inquisition.
Yeah. So they're trying to find the fountain of youth, and somebody creates this thing that looks like a bug, and this bug attaches to you and basically sucks your blood, but kind of regenerates your blood at the same time, making you live longer.
Yeah, it's like a really different way to be a vampire in the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like the way he does it, the way he tells the story, and the way it's shot, it's a beautiful looking movie too.
Yeah.
It's also it's his first movie, and you can connect this movie to stuff that you see in Hellboy and Hellboy 2, and you can see stuff that in like what was the other one? Crimson Peak. That's another really good movie of his. Like
Oh
you see
yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
kind of like the style of the way he's like basically he's always been a really good fucking director. Like it's kills me that this was his first movie. It's really good. The acting is on it is on point. It's half in Spanish, and I know people who love it who usually don't
Yeah.
like movies and subtitles.
Mhm.
Ron Perlman plays a great villain in it.
Yeah.
The
This
lead,
this is my first time seeing Ron Perlman like not old.
yeah, yeah, he was in Beauty and the Beast, but he was in the fucking makeup all the time. But yeah,
Right.
this is one of his first big movies. Well, not big because it was an independent movie, and like I saw the budget and like nobody saw it, but it's actually a really good fucking movie.
Yeah.
I had seen it a long, long time ago on VHS, and then like when HBO Max put it on, I was like, oh shit, and I watched it again, and it's really good, man. We don't want to spoil it too much, but yeah, it's like a really cool, different look at a vampire story and what it means to fucking live forever sometimes,
Yeah.
and what you would have to sacrifice to do that. And yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's definitely one of those movies that you definitely should give it a shot. And especially like you may not want to like sit through subtitles and stuff like that, but the story is actually worth it. It's worth to sit down and actually give it a shot, because there's a lot of good things in it, and you get to see a lot of where Guillermo del Toro has evolved his way of shooting a movie and directing a movie. I was super
Yeah,
excited for it.
and this is one of the movies that still freaks me out because they use real roaches instead of like the movie roaches.
Yeah.
There's like real Mexican cockroaches in that thing, and I was like, yeah, like I hate those things, man. Oh, yeah, but yeah, no, it's highly, highly recommended.
Yeah. I'm definitely super excited for it. I'm definitely excited to see it again, because I'm a fan of it so far.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And it's a short movie too. Like I watched most of it at the gym tonight when I was
Yeah.
working out.
Yeah, it's
like
not very
90
long.
minutes.
Yeah. It's what you would want an older horror movie to be. You don't want it to be like super long and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's like the horror in it is it's like like Steve said, it's not really scary. It's just more about like what happens and what this guy has to do to survive. There's also a sequel to it too. We Are What We Are, which I kind of keep meaning to see, and I keep forgetting that it actually exists.
Okay.
The coroner dude from the end is in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot. Jonathan says, have you
Scrooge?
watched? Yeah,
Nah, I never heard of that one.
I don't think I think I've heard it. I'll definitely look into it. Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for what we've watched this week and what's been going on. So I guess it's time to get into some geek news. Yay, geek news. Some of the things that came out this week. One thing specifically that came out this week is kind of like, why would you do such a thing? Like why would DC decide to do this to another character that a lot of people have grown to love and care for a long time. Granted, they've been playing with the idea for quite a while. they recently announced that Robin, Tim Drake's version of Robin, is bisexual or bi-curious or whatever. But they've also just announced that the new Superman, who's actually not Clark Kent, but who is it? Connor?
Jonathan,
John Kent. Yeah, Jonathan Kent. Is actually bisexual as well. And people are going crazy about this. Like, it's a comic book character. People like, why are you so upset about it? I don't get it. And it's not like you're getting upset about, oh, Clark Kent's gay or whatever, or he's bi or whatever. It's technically a newer version of Superman.
Right.
So you can do whatever you want with it. And of course, he's not doing anything wrong towards anybody. He's just living his life.
It's not like he's like super cornholing people. Like it's just
Right.
like it's just him. Like I mean, DC. I've said this for years now. DC has lost their fucking minds when it comes to the comic books.
Yeah.
Them comic books suck, and this is just another way for them to kind of like get attention for something that's gonna be fucking mediocre. They stole this idea from Marvel too, so it's like what the fuck is DC doing? Like, who's in charge of the fucking show at DC now? Because like this is really dumb. I'm not like bashing it because I know it is what it is. I'm not a fan of Superman at all. I personally always thought he was gay since I was a kid. I can't like that cape just says Liberace to me and flaming. So I was like, whatever. But like the whole thing about this is like people who are not into comic books are gonna like maybe get curious, but ultimately it's not gonna last. What's hilarious is that they're doing the Superman thing and they did it with Captain America. Because Captain America's got the gay Captain America. Like, they have the alternate dimension Captain America's running around in one of the series. And yeah, there's a gay one, there's a bi one, there's a black one, there's an old lady one. Like, Peggy's in it. It's a bunch of shit. And then DC copies that and does it with Superman. I think the bigger problem with this is more that, like, DC needs to focus on making great comic books again, which they haven't been able to do for fucking, going on 20 years now? Holy shit. Maybe 10 because New 52 is already 10 fucking years old. God damn, we're old. Time fucking flies. But like the whole thing with the Superman character being gay, it's just for publicity and for people to buy a couple more comic books. It's not gonna last.
No.
I mean, Superman's been blue and white. Two people. He's oh god, like it's just so dumb. Like I was like, I mean, it's like, and I'm not bashing the fact that he's gay. I'm bashing the fact that DC runs out of ideas and they just like do shit like this to kind of like get attention to it, and instead of focusing on just writing a good story. Because if you have a comic book that has these characters in it and people just find it out like that, you would have a way different reaction than the way they did it by just fucking announcing it.
Right.
You know, and it's, to me, it's a detriment to people who like really want to get into this stuff because of certain things. But I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't have a problem with it. It's like that thing from that I always post when people get mad about this shit. It's fictional characters. Yeah. Like the Jay and Silent Bob thing. Yeah. Fictional characters, and if you don't like it, don't read it.
You know, it's like the same people that get. It's the same people that are getting pissed off. What we spoke about 2 weeks ago with fucking Chris Pratt as Mario.
Yeah.
It's like it's a fictional character.
Yeah. It's something that, you don't really have to don't think too much into it. Like, it's literally something that somebody wrote on paper.
Right. If you don't like it, don't read it. Exactly.
Yeah. Or don't watch it. Like, simple.
You have the opportunity that we all do to make a choice and choose to read something else. And just don't pull a Karen and be like, this is not, worth it. Like, why is this happening? Just, it's a fucking, it's a cartoon. It's a comic book.
It's not real.
It's a video game. Pick your poison. It's not fucking real, people. It's not real.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Yeah, you gotta love how people take shit so fucking seriously sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, but it happens. We this is the world that we live in. We can't really do much about it right now.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it sucks. Another thing that came out this week out of the news is something that's very, 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 very fucking cool. We're fans of the Marvel universe, of course, and especially the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's been a lot of good
Mm-hmm.
shit in that. But we got recent news of more castings, and the biggest casting that we've heard in quite a while is for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We got news that they have casted Adam Warlock. And who will be playing Adam Warlock but uh, Will Poehler, that we've seen. Well, the first thing that I remember seeing him in is what's it called? We're
We're
the
the we're,
Millers.
we're the Millers. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the first time I saw him.
and I thought he was pretty good then.
He played the
And
part. He was the geeky
yeah,
kid.
yeah, and he played it very well. So I'm
Uh-huh.
like, has he done other things since then? Probably. I haven't really seen much of him since then.
I didn't watch it because I couldn't get into Black Mirror during 2020 because we were
Oh
so
yeah,
busy
that's
with
right. He
Black
wasn't that.
Mirror
He was in the Black Mirror episode where they did the whole
interactive
yeah, the
thing.
interactive shit. Yeah, yeah. I didn't watch that one either.
He's really good though. Like he's one of
Yeah.
those like actors that have gotten really, really good as the older he gets.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a good casting.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
so too.
I think it's really good. Like I'm super excited for this. Like I really want to see what they're gonna do with this. Especially that we haven't seen Adam Warlock within the MCU yet.
Right.
Is very very fucking cool.
And this is most likely James Gunn's last movie in the Marvel world,
Allegedly, allegedly.
allegedly,
Right.
and until they give him money.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, the Guardians trilogy was so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make
Let's give you
make
more
other
money for these. Make
make
more.
other things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with this. I'm excited to see how he's gonna do. I'm excited for it. Like first off, like I've enjoyed the Guardians of the Galaxy series in general.
Yeah, same.
So seeing that they're gonna bring a whole new character that we haven't seen yet, and the fact that they're bringing somebody that's actually pretty good at actings and stuff, is very very fucking cool.
And
I'm super excited for it.
since he can do the serious but also the comedy aspect, I'm
Hmm.
sure he'll feed off that cast really well.
Oh yeah, I mean he'll fit in perfectly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if what version of if they're gonna go with like a younger version of Phantom Warlock, or if they're gonna go with a little bit older, to give him the longer hair, the more you know. We'll see, we'll see.
Hmm.
But I'm excited for it. I want to see what's gonna happen. A couple more things that came out that's pretty fucking cool this week. One thing that I was super fucking excited for because I've been a fan of this for a very long time. And I've been a fan of the Home Alone series for a very long time as well. Um, like we knew that they were gonna do. Uh, I don't know if we want to call it a sequel or a spin-off or a reboot or what exactly they're gonna go with it. But we got the first trailer for Home Sweet Home Alone, which is the next installment in the Home Alone series. And from what it looks like, it is not a spin-off or a reboot or anything, because one of the McAllisters is actually in this one. Um, the brother, I think the older brother,
Yeah, it was Buzz.
he plays like one of the cops. So it kind of falls into play with the other with the original.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited for that. Kind of excited to see if maybe uh what's his face shows up in this.
You think it'll be
Macaulay
Macaulay
Culkin.
Culkin?
We never know. We never know. He's not on all the drugs like he was before.
No, he's actually he's sober and like he's a dad and shit now.
Right.
I mean, this is Disney, right?
Yeah. This is
Yes.
Disney.
Disney money will make people do shit they said they would never do. So just look
Yeah.
at the Star Wars sequels.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. But this looks pretty fun. Like I'm excited for it. It has the dude from what's it called? From Deadpool. He's in it. That from Deadpool 2, the dude with the mustache.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's in it. Ellie Kemper from Kimmy Schmidt, who was fucking hilarious.
Okay.
Um, and it has a little British kid. I don't know. I don't think I've seen him in anything before. But also has a comedian Pete Holmes that I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
Um, and it looks fun. It looks fun. It doesn't look like it's gonna be something that's gonna be super like why, even though it is kind of like
It
why.
is still gonna be why.
Yeah, like it's still like it is still why, but like it's still gonna be like okay, I can't why, but like I'm still gonna watch it because you know.
I'll check it out. There'll probably be whiskey involved when I watch it because I don't
Oh,
know if I
for
could do that
sure,
sober.
for fucking sure. I'm not gonna be super sober for that. I'm gonna be very inebriated while I watch it.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm gonna watch it anyway. Cause why the
We
fuck
should
not?
we should do like a live tweet uh,
Yes.
while
Oh, that would
watching
be
the
so
movie,
fun.
like
That
a
would be
special
so fun to
bonus.
do a live tweet off. Like, yeah, we haven't done that in a while. I haven't done that in a long time, actually.
Yeah,
Um,
same.
yeah. So we should do that. We should do that for Sweet Home Alone or
I think the I,
Home
I,
Sweet Home Alone, whatever.
I think the last time I did a live tweet to anything was like the 2020 election,
Jesus Christ. Okay.
or like the debates rather.
Yeah, that's it. That's something to be that. Yeah, that's something to definitely have that for.
Right, and there was alcohol for those too. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
uh,
Um.
Jonathan's asking, "Do you guys like the Lost Boys?"
Love the Lost Boys.
I've
Shit is
actually
great.
never, I've actually never seen it.
Oh, you should watch it, dude.
Yeah, every time I say that, like around my wife, she looks at me like, "What the actual fuck? Who did I
Yeah.
marry?"
Why? Where have you been your entire life? Yeah.
Right?
Are you have you been living
That
under a rock?
that's actually really good. That was one of like the better '80s movies,
Mm-hmm.
and like Joel Schumacher, like he actually made a really good movie in that.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely worth seeing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. See, Jonathan's asking you why haven't you ever seen it? What the fuck, dude? It's really fucking good. It's definitely worth watching.
I'll check it out
Um.
one of these days.
Yes. Another thing that came out this week actually came out today. Something that I am super excited for. I know Brian, you're not a big fan of this season, but
Yeah.
and that's fair. That's fine. That's fine that you're not a big fan of this series. I know Renee, you're not a big fan of the Doctor Who stuff either. But we got a trailer for the next season, which is Doctor Who Flux, which kind of will be the ending of the 13th Doctor that we've seen that's played by the girl from Attack the Block. This is gonna be, you know, the end of her role or her road as the Doctor. It's kind of sad because I'm a fan of hers. Been a fan of hers since Attack the Block. And I've enjoyed her as the Doctor. She brings her own little character to it, which I'm a fan of. Like every other Doctor does, they bring their own little
Levels.
quirks and their own little things to the character.
And
Um,
Jodie Whittaker is her name.
yes,
Um,
yes, Jodie Whittaker.
but like for me, it's not her. I think she's great. It's the fucking writing on that,
Yeah.
and and also like it's too bright.
Well, because her character is a very bright character. She's kind of like a ray of sunshine that we haven't gotten for a while. Because all the doctors as of late have been really dark, very brooding, very like upset at life. Like
That's why
Peter
I like my
Capaldi was that. He was like
that.
very
That's how
very dark, very
that's how I
evil.
like my doctor though. I like the
Oh no,
dark brooding.
I agree. I agree. But I do, like I said, I do like the bright side that she's bringing to the character because it is a little bit different. Kind of reminds me of the Fourth Doctor. Like he's the Doctor with all the colors on his scarves and shit. Like I was like, okay, I like the way this is going. So I'm kind of like I that's she's kind of like a play off of him. So it's like okay, I'm excited for it. Um,
I want to clarify something. I like Doctor Who. It's just there's so much shit to watch. It's kind of hard to get into it, but
Yeah.
I do like Doctor Who.
Okay.
There really is so much shit to watch.
There's a
The
lot of
show's
shit to
awesome.
watch.
Like the way they look at sci-fi and the whole. I think it's awesome, and that show fucking changed sci-fi too. Like we take it for granted, but that show's been around for a really long time.
Yeah.
And those characters affected Star Trek stories and a lot of the other sci-fi shit that we got in the 80s and 90s. Like I think it's a good show, but like I've only been able to see like maybe bits and pieces of the show, and the stuff that I've seen is really good. I saw the season with the guy who's an asshole. Like everything he's in, he's like, oh, I hated working on it. He was the guy in Thor too.
Oh yeah. Christopher.
He's such a dick. Yeah, like
Yeah,
Christopher
yeah.
Ellison is like, I love these actors that like every time they do something, like, oh, it sucked. Like this guy too. We just talked about his daughter in Mayhem. What the fuck, Weaver, Hugo Weaver.
Oh,
He
yeah,
was talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
Captain America. I'm like, but you took the fucking money, didn't you? You stupid fuck.
Right?
I'm like, but no, like that season has one of the best sci-fi things I ever saw with the woman who's just like a skin. When they're watching the end of like one of the Earths, like a future Earth, and like the lady who's just like, the bad guy, she's just like a piece of skin. That episode is really fucking good. But I like Doctor Who. I don't know if I'm a fan. Like I'd have to sit there and watch everything. But no, I appreciate it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's also one of the things that got people into sci-fi and horror stuff.
Yeah,
because once they saw that, they kind of like got into it. And I love stuff like that.
Jonathan's now saying that he saw Dune about a month ago because it was released earlier out by him than it is out here.
Lucky.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's coming out next week or the week after out here.
Yeah,
next week.
And that's another thing on the toy side of things too. Like, nice. Cheers.
Those figures have been out for a while too. They look really good.
They do, but like that's the thing about these like movie figures and shit. Like they come out and then, I guess more so now with the pandemic, like the things like they come out and then they're on clearance before the movie's even out.
Yeah.
They dropped it so early.
It happened with Black Widow. That wave, people got it, and then it became a clearance thing. And then Shang-Chi, like, they had released a Target exclusive Katie, and I still haven't seen Shang-Chi yet, but like, like her character is like an important character in the film, and like that figure, it was all over Target and became like a $6 figure. And now, I mean, the Eternals at least is a little bit closer,
right?
Because
they didn't drop them too early.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but like, and then you got Dune, which like, you know, those figures got shown at Toy Fair last year, and then like they came out a couple of months ago, and then it's like, oh, no movie because of the pandemic. So like, I feel bad. Like all these things, I want to like it, but like,
they take too long.
Now I don't want to collect it. You know?
Yeah. That's fair. That happens. Yeah. But going back to Doctor Who, the final few episodes, it's 6 episodes for this season, is gonna be coming out on Halloween. The first episode comes out on Halloween, and then it's gonna end for the last 6 more weeks after that. So it's a 6-episode arc, which is kind of sad because I don't want to see her go. But we'll see. We'll see what else happens after that. See who else gets to regenerate and what other doctor comes into this. What I've read online, what I've read online a bunch of is that this whole reason it's a flux thing is that they're gonna be possibly introducing a multiverse of doctors, because technically there's only 13 regenerations. So kind of
cool.
Yeah. Kind of makes you wonder, like, what's gonna happen now? Because of course we know in the last couple seasons we got another doctor that she didn't even know about that was on her world, the black doctor, the black lady doctor, that she showed up out of nowhere, and then they also had the war doctor and all these other doctors that we didn't really know about until they just showed up out of nowhere. So the fact that they may be introducing a whole multiverse of different Doctors is going to be pretty interesting. So I'm excited for that.
Is it still on
Uh,
HBO?
yes, it is still on HBO.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll go through it.
Yeah, the stuff, the new stuff should be on there right now, so you can definitely check that out. On HBO and also on BBC. So if you have the BBC stuff, you can check it out over there too. Um, uh, the the new stuff comes out on BBC on the 31st, so that should be cool. I'm very excited for that. And then the final piece of news for this week, something that I am very excited for. Um,
Same.
Something that we've seen for a very long time, that we've heard, and we were kind of like, I wonder what they're gonna do with this. Is word that we, well, not word, we got the first trailer for Scream.
Right.
They kept it old school and just gave it the title Scream.
Right. They didn't, because their way of, so I was reading up on this and watching like a ton of videos about it. Like, the reason why they called it Scream and not Scream 5 is because when you think in like horror movies, especially, and there's like the number after a certain number, it's like, oh, it's the fifth one. It's probably not
Mm-hmm.
going to be good,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go in with that mentality of like, oh, it's not going to be good, and then unlike my skepticism before about Halloween Kills, like, it's not a good movie. Like when you go in, you pay this money, and then it's like, oh, that was it. That's what I basically
Heh.
we love
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Good point, Jonathan.
so like yeah, so like you go in and you like get your ticket to go see like Friday the 13th Part 5, or like all these other movies that are like part whatever, and then it's like, oh, yeah, that was the thing. And so that's basically why they said, what are you laughing at? That's why they said,
I'm laughing at what Jonathan said over here.
oh,
Yeah.
so yeah, so basically with Scream, they kept it simple because they just wanted it to be like a new movie and not a
Mm-hmm.
sequel, even though.
Absolutely.
And another thing that I was reading about this is that everything that we saw in the trailer is a misdirect.
Hmm.
Uh, so like they edited the trailer beautifully to make you think that, oh, like this character is getting killed already, and like, spoiler, spoiler, spoiler with this first teaser trailer. But no, like everything in this trailer is a misdirect because they
Okay.
want to keep it fresh.
Of course. Well,
Yeah.
that's what you would expect from a lot of these movies, because if you look at this trailer, it's very similar to the original trailer
Mm-hmm.
in how they had, oh yeah, Drew Barrymore is gonna be in this movie. She's gonna be in this the entire fucking time,
And she's dead in 10 minutes.
and she's in five, not even 10,
Yeah.
in like 5 minutes. She's the first one that dies in the first fucking movie. So like, spoiler alert, fuckers. Like she was the first one to die. Like don't be scared.
The one
Um.
thing about this though is like I watched an interview with Matthew Lillard and Ski
Mhm.
Ulrich, and like they both actually kind of hinted at like a tease. I mean, also a misdirect. Um, but then there was a promo image of something online of Matthew Lillard looking all scarred and shit.
Mhm.
I don't know what, it could have been an independent film, whatever. But I'm like, thinking about it,
Could be. Could be.
could
He's coming
be
back.
because the original idea was he was going to be the villain in 3.
Yeah. So,
And yeah, Nev Campbell still got it.
yeah, she's still. Yep. Yep.
Um,
Nev Campbell still looks good. Yep.
yeah. One of my favorite lines in that trailer though is when Dewey calls her and he's like, "Do you own a gun?" She's like, "I'm Sidney Prescott. Of course I own a gun."
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty
I
much.
was like, "Nice."
It's only right.
And then like the thing that really blew my mind in that trailer was they're in Stu's house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what you were
Like,
telling me. Yep.
yeah, like if why is Stu's house in the movie? I mean, obviously his parents could have sold and whatever, and they're in, they're in their fucking same town, so like naturally somebody else could have moved in. Um, but it's just interesting to see the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's almost like a blink and you'll miss it kind of moment in the trailer.
Yeah, because
So
I
like I'm
missed
looking
it the first time I saw it.
so like I'm looking forward to seeing like okay, what's gonna happen here. Um, so I'm excited for it. I am.
Oh yeah, super excited for it. It looks really
You know,
cool. It looks really it looks very promising.
and like one of the characters is named Wes as homage to their fallen leader.
Of course.
So that's I think that's pretty dope. I wonder if they will end again in a plot drained in maple syrup. Huh.
That'd be
Maybe.
interesting.
That'd be great.
That'd be very
Uh,
interesting. Yeah, but I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with this because
Yo, I only remember the first one. Like,
that's fair. That's fair
that's
because
fair.
like the other ones kind of like they went by a decent story, but it was also like a lot of weird shit in between.
Like, yeah, absolutely. Like, Scream should have been a standalone horror film.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then I guess it was just so popular that Wes was forced into doing a sequel. But you also had, but Kevin Williamson wrote it, so it's like okay, you know, the man writes really good horror.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then like when um when part three came out, Kevin Williamson wasn't involved, and that's why Scream 3 is the weakest of the movies.
Yeah,
Um, but honestly, like it still had its moments. And then part 4 was actually really good. Part
I don't think I've watched the fourth one.
uh, part 4 actually came out in 2011.
Yeah,
And
I definitely didn't see that one.
it was it was good. She's like,
Wait, was that the one? Was that the one with Halle Berry?
uh, when was Halle Berry in a movie?
yeah, I was like, no, it was
Jada Pinkett
fuck
was
yeah,
in
Jada Pinkett, yeah.
Jada
Yeah,
Pinkett
that one.
was
Yeah.
in
No,
that was
that was
Eesh.
2.
true. That was true. I
Eesh.
remember that part, yeah.
Okay,
She
yeah.
was
See,
like
I haven't seen either one of them.
You know why I
I
remember
guess I've
that?
never seen any other ones
Could-
other than the first one.
those the Wayne movie had the same kind of kill, but with dildo in the glory hole.
Oh yeah.
That's what I remember. That's the only reason because I think I seen the first three, but I don't remember the last. I don't remember them, but I do remember that scene in the movie theater where she gets like they kill the boyfriend and they kill her.
yeah, like and the what you call it, and like I know the original movie was supposed to be called Stab, and that's when they later parodied it and made that the fictional movie in Scream. No, but like I'm excited about 5. I'm curious to know what's next for something that should have like ended after a first movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Very
know, but
exciting.
they and you know like it's. I mean, I guess is it like pass the torch? We don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
We'll
see.
see.
Yeah. Like I actually like I am a fan of the girl that died in the trailer. She's actually in You in in the second season of You. She's in it. She's actually pretty good in it too as well. Um,
Wait, which girl?
the one that dies in the new trailer of Scream.
What, Jenna Ortega?
Yeah,
Well, see, that's another misdirect. You don't know if she's dead.
whatever. It looks like she died in the fucking trailer. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. What it says in the fucking trailer.
But
Leave it be a misdirect or not. She dies in the trailer. So I'm going from what I saw. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add for the show this week?
Have you guys watched the new season of What We Do in the Shadows?
I've only seen the first 2 episodes, and I'm sad.
It's
I've
not-
only watched those 2.
It's not as good. Like
Okay.
5 episodes are out, and like the first 2 are good, but like after that, it gets kind of like they do like sitcom shit, and I'm just like, yeah, I was kind of disappointed. So hopefully, it gets better. But like the third episode or the second one, they do some sitcom Three's Companies bullshit, and I'm just like, what? Like, okay,
Okay.
yeah,
so let's see what happens.
I have not gotten around to season 3 yet.
Yeah, that shows it's good, but like I might be being a little bit harsh just because like the other seasons were so good.
Yeah,
But yeah, this
you're not
season's
the
kind
first.
of
You're not the first person to tell me that to tell me that like the third season is kind of weird for a weird show.
Yeah, it's getting. I think they're running out of ideas, but
Yeah,
like I said, I've only seen like the first 3 or 4 episodes. I think it's
but you
up to
got to
like
think about it
5.
too. You got to think about it too, like the fact that like this season was actually written and done
That's
up
yeah, true. Yeah,
during
yeah.
the time that we're going through right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point. The other thing, the Dave Chappelle thing on Netflix is really good.
We
We
got to
talked to
check that
Steve.
out.
I
Yeah,
talked to Steve about it off air. It's not really like hilarious funny, but it's like makes you think funny.
hmm
Okay.
And like the whole trans thing, I think is getting really blown out of proportion. I think a lot of the stuff people are just like they're way too sensitive about this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they even listened to the episode to the special because he has like this really poignant, fucked up story about a friend of his, and it just made me kind of think about like a lot of stuff too. Because I've had like some people in the car talk to me about like how what it means to be gay in Florida and other things, and it's just like and then I watched the special and I was like, wow, like I was expecting something much worse, and it's actually pretty good. But like I said, it's not the typical Chappelle show thing. It's more like he went through 17 months of bullshit like we did, and he's
Right.
just like talking about stuff, and he got shit on so hard by the trans community for jokes. That's the other
yeah,
thing. He's a fucking comedian. He's not a politician. He's not a CEO. He's a fucking comedian who tells jokes. And if you can't
Right.
take a joke, don't watch it. But I mean,
Exactly.
like the reaction to this shit is horrible, and I'm like, whatever. Definitely, highly, I recommend it. I'm a big fan of Chappelle, even though he's full of shit. A lot of stuff. That's something that I know just because like some of the stuff he said in one of the Netflix specials was completely wrong, and I still love the guy. But like what he said was completely wrong. And if anybody wants to ask, I'll mention it next time we talk because it's like a long story.
hmm
But at the same time, I think the one that he did now, which is the last one for Netflix, is actually really good, and it's definitely worth watching.
okay. We definitely got. I definitely got to give it a shot because like
Yeah, I'll
I'm a
give it a
fan of
shot too.
his. So
He's
kind of want to
raw
see.
in it though, like he goes off on people. I was like, all
Well, yeah,
right,
that's what he does. That's what he does. He's been doing that a
Yes.
lot lately.
yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Anything else you want to add, Brian?
No, I'm just constantly sliding out of my chair here.
Yay, slip and slide.
Yay.
Yeah. So I guess that wraps it up for this week. Um, so make sure you guys go to InnerCityGeeks.net where we have a whole bunch of shit. Sometimes we got of course this show. We got It's Poppin'. We got a bunch of other shit.
Oh, sorry. Jonathan's asking about what stand up. We're talking about Dave Chappelle.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Dave Chappelle. Um, InnerCityGeeks.net got a whole bunch of shit up there. We got this show. We got Bryce J Presents up there. We have It's Poppin'. We have Comics Go On, Manga Time Anime World. Inner City ICGPW Slamcast. First Watch. What was the other one? Whole bunch of shit. Let's go check all that shit out. Check out all the shows on InnerCityGeeks.net. And then we have some links to places that you can go to. We got a Sideshow Collectible stuff up there. Yes, the special is on Netflix. cbdMD for some CBD goodness. Check on that. Click the link for Amazon's. Click the link for some Sosic Clothing Company for some cool clothings for Geeks by Geeks. SOESIC clothing.co. Type in Inner City Geeks for 15% off. Then we have a link to Beard Octane for some beardy goodness. Type in ICG10 for all but 10% off of your entire purchase. Then you can listen to the show on SoundCloud, on Stitcher Radio, on Google Podcasts, and on motherfucking Spotify. You can find us on the socials. facyspace.com/InnerCityGeeks, on Twitter at InnerCityGeeks, on Instagram at InnerCityGeeks. And where can we find you guys? Brian, where can we find you, sir?
You could find me sitting in this uncomfortable chair, trying to, you know, not fall out of it.
Yay!
Yay!
You really enjoyed your slip and slide.
Exactly.
You got to get a fucking seatbelt for yourself, dude.
It probably wouldn't help. You can find me on all the social sites. You can find me especially on Twitter at BRI_2J. You could find me on Instagram at Bri2J or Bri2J Presents, depending on which page you want to check out. I will follow you back if you follow me. And send me messages. I don't mind. I'll chat.
I'm bored at home. I can do it.
Pretty much. Uh, yeah, you could, of course, go to bright2jpresents.com where I have a whole bunch of shit, including a link to the website, InnerCityGeeks.net, where you can find this show and a ton of other shit. You can also go to my YouTube page and watch some content of toys and stuff. And if you're into wrestling, AEW, I did a thing back like 2 years ago at the panel. Yeah, you can find me on all that and follow me and say hi and shit, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Yes, sir. Ready?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, DarthBX, DARTHBX. Yeah.
Nice. And you guys can find me on the Instagram and the Twitter at Mr. Jackal, MisterJackal. And thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Jonathan, for sitting in
for the whole show.
with us for the whole show.
Great.
Definitely appreciate you being up here.
He's asking me if I love beasts of the Mesozoic. I don't know that, actually. I'll look it up. Primarily, I'm into like 1/12 scale action figures like G.I. Joe, Marvel, Mezco toys based out here in New York. A lot of NECA, highly detailed stuff. But yeah, I'll research them. I'm also broke, so I can't exactly buy it.
You can only do but so much. Yeah. But yeah. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you again, Jonathan. Thank you for being on with us. Really appreciate you. Greatly appreciate everybody that's listening to the show and watching the show and stuff like that. And basically, spreading the word. Really makes me happy, which makes me want to bring out more stuff for you guys. So thank you guys for listening, and don't be a dick, but always remember that the geeks shouldn't hurt the earth.